Hello viewers, welcome to Ekam Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about minority status to educational institutions. Why this is so much in news, okay? So this is a controversy surrounding Aligarh Muslim University, which is dated almost 60 years onwards, okay? So why this issue has become so much a burning thing since 60 years? What are the reasons behind it? What is actual contention? Whether there is minorities tagged for this particular education institution or not? What is the history behind this institution? Who founded this? And what are the rights for minorities in Indian Constitution? So all these things we are going to discuss in this video. So without any further delay, let's start. So we are going to discuss why it is a news. We discuss about Aligarh Muslim University, who are all minorities in India, who can recognize minorities also we'll be discussing. What are different Supreme Court judgments with respect to minorities, and also what is the minority character of an educational institution. Okay, that is the main topic of today. Then this is part of polity and governance, because some of the constitutional provisions related to minorities also will be discussed in this video, and governance is with respect to the rights of minorities. Okay, so those things also can be discussed in this video. Then what is the news about? Okay, before this, you just understand this controversy surrounding Aligarh Muslim University. Okay, so you know this is a university in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so previously this was established, if you know, this is the oldest university established as Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, okay, MOC you can call, Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, later turned to be Aligarh Muslim University. Who founded this? It is in 1875, Sir Syed Ahmed Khan founded this college. Okay, so later it turned to be a university. Why it was established? Mainly because to give Western education to Muslims. Okay, because he taught, Syed Ahmed Khan, he thought that educational backwardness is the main reason why Muslims are backward. So he wanted to prevent that, and so he wanted to impart Muslims with this Western education, and also along with that Islamic theology also wanted to get imparted to Muslims as part of this organization. And he also promoted female education also. Okay, then like you know, that is a sorrow state, because he later became a victim of colonial communal tendencies and all. He became a victim to that particular thing. Okay, so then what is the controversy about? Okay, so initially when this university was established, okay, it was just established by one person who belongs to a minority, but there is no such minority status recognition to this university when it was established or after getting independence also. Then what happened? Then the controversy started in 1967. So then there was a case filed. Okay, the case was saying that this Aligarh Muslim University should be given a minority status, okay, to this university. Then what did the Supreme Court at that point of time said? That Aligarh Muslim University cannot be given, they said they cannot be given minority status because it was neither established nor administered by any minority. Okay, at that point of time it was established by one person. Okay, so but it was not established as a minority institution. Understand, the person who established this university is belonging to a minority community, but he did not intend to establish this as a minority institution. Okay, so that was a case that happened in 1967. Then soon after, what happened in 1980s? Okay, so what happened is some people, okay, so they have approached again challenging this particular judgment given in 1967, okay, in one particular case. Then what happened? Immediately after some years, so this Aligarh Muslim University, they have, as part of administrative things, they have reserved some seats. How many seats? 50% of the seats in post-graduation will go only for Muslims. Okay, so they passed a rule. So then what happened? This was challenged. Okay, so how they can make 50% reservation for Muslims if it is not a Muslim or recognized as a minority university? This was a challenge. Okay, so when this was challenged, then Allahabad High Court, okay, this was challenged in the Allahabad High Court. Allahabad High Court also said Aligarh Muslim University is not a minority educational institution and it cannot grant 50% reservation to minorities, especially Muslims. Okay, so this has caused some uproar among Islamic people and Muslim community and all. At that point of time, it became a controversial thing. Then the case was transferred to Supreme Court, okay, for looking whether this status can be given to Aligarh Muslim University or not. Okay, so further it was referred to some 5-judge bench initially, and that has been referred now to 7-judge bench. Okay, you know, constitutional bench, okay, whenever constitutional matters are involved, constitutional bench will be formed with minimum of how many members? You have to answer in the comment section, okay. This is a 7-judge constitutional bench formed. So why this is in news is all this you have to know, because this matter, okay, of giving whether this Aligarh Muslim University is eligible for giving minority educational institution tag or not is being checked now, okay, by 7-judge constitutional bench in Supreme Court, okay. That is the backdrop of this issue. Now we are going to discuss about what is its background, okay. We have seen Aligarh Muslim University, originally established as Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. It was founded by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in 1875, mainly to overcome educational backwardness in Muslims. He wanted to impart Western education and also Islamic studies also, and he wanted to promote even women education, okay. So then what happened? In 1920, it was given university status, okay. So who gave this? It is given status by then central government, and it is a central university, okay. So central university in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh, okay. Then what happened? You have to know who are all minorities in India. If you have seen, since last 2 years, the status of minorities is so much in news, because there was a case previously before 2022, before that case, okay. So who have the power to recognize minorities in India means only central government, okay. So at that time, central government is only having powers to recognize minorities in India. But after this case, so central government has submitted to Supreme Court that not only central government but states also can recognize minorities in their particular domain, okay. So this is a landmark case. So before that, we just have to know who are minorities. So there is a mention about religious minorities and linguistic minorities in various articles like 29, 30, 350, 350B and all these articles, but there is no clear-cut definition of who constitutes a minority in any article in the Indian Constitution. This is very much important, okay. Such questions can be asked. If you have remembered recently with respect to reservation, they gave a question under Article 16, reservation is defined in 2023 prelims itself. So such questions can be asked in prelims. Be careful with these. So minority is, as a word, is not defined anywhere in the Constitution. Then minorities will fall part of under the concurrent list, because this is under concurrent list, means both state can make law and parliament also can make law with respect to these things. Now central government currently decides who gets minority community status in India. So this is done by whom actually? National Commission for Minorities in 1992. This is a statutory body, do remember, okay. This is not a constitutional body, this is a statutory body. This is passed by an act in 1992, right. So this commission will recommend who should be given minority status in India. So then you can see here under section 2C of this act, only those who are recognized will be given minority status. But what happened in 2022, central government said that Supreme Court it said that states could decide who can be given minority status, okay. Till then only center used to. Now this came whenever there is a public interest litigation, because if center only decides, because center doesn't have that much accurate data, because one particular group of people in one state where they are recognized as minority can become majority in another state. So it should be state specific, right. So under this public interest litigation, they asked that state should be given to recognize who should be a minority. Then center agreed that okay, states also will be authorized now from now onwards to recognize who is a minority. Then what happened? Current status, you know, previously we have 5 minorities recognized by center. In 2014, another community, that is Jains, were also added under the list of minority, okay. So here you can see Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, Parsis and Jains. These are all considered as religious minorities. 2 types of minorities we have, religious and linguistic. Religious means official, rather than the people who are following official or majority religion, other people are considered as religious minority. And linguistic minority means the people who speak languages which are not officially recognized in that particular state, okay. Then those are considered as linguistic minorities, okay. Then here, what are the constitutional provisions with respect to minorities? You know, Article 29 deals with protection of minorities with respect to, okay. Here minority and majority is also included. That is what Supreme Court has opined later. Article 30 deals with rights of minorities to establish educational institutions, okay, because they have to conserve their culture and all. Next, Article 350B. This is a constitutional post, right, of special officer for linguistic minorities. Linguistic minorities, I just have explained, those who speak other than official languages. Then what are the recent Supreme Court judgments? This case is so much important, okay? TM Pai case. In case if there is any question on minority status, you should quote these things for more marks, okay? In this case, 11 judge bench, you can see here, okay? The highest is 13 judge bench in Keshwananda Bharti case. So 11 judge bench said that what they have decided, what did they discuss? The right of minorities to establish the educational institutions, means who should establish on this question. They have said, then they said who have the right? State, okay? So Supreme Court said that state is only having the right to say who should be a minority or who will form part of Article 30 to establish an educational institution. So the denomination of a religion can claim minority status, okay? So even if who will form this, okay? So if you see even the followers of that particular or in majority, that was not answered because under 29, Supreme Court previously said it includes both minority as well as majority, but under Article 30, whether it only includes religious minority or majority also is not answered. This has led to different interpretations later. In Inamdar case, a 7-judge bench said, okay, so here minority means whether linguistic or religious, both have to be determined by the state, okay, based on the population. So how the things will be determined? In case, okay, they will be seeing these three things, whether they are having recognition or not having recognition, whether they want aid or only having recognition and not aid. So based on these three things, minority institutions are classified. So these minorities can belong to linguistic and religious minorities, and that will be determined by the state. Then in Bal Patil case in 2005, this was also referred based on TM Pai ruling only. They said here determining status will include both linguistic and religious minorities. Who will recognize? It is a state. All this case, okay, entire question is about who will have the power to recognize linguistic and religious minorities, and in different interpretations, Supreme Court said it is a state, okay. And then what is this issue about this minority educational status, okay? So here, a minority educational institutions are nothing but colleges established by minority people, okay? Minority group or to protect their culture and traditions. So you have Article 30, which is a main provision. You do remember that this Article 29 and 30, okay, along with some other articles like 15, 16 and 19 are available only to Indian citizens. This article is not applicable to foreigners, okay, do remember this. So this is giving all minorities right to establish their educational institutions. All minorities means whom? Whether it includes religious or whether it includes linguistic or any other type of minority is the question here, okay. So in case if any property of this educational institution established by minorities taken by the state, then due compensation has to be awarded, okay. Then it also prohibits the state from discriminating against these institutions. Whenever they are giving aid, they cannot discriminate that this institution is belonging to minority and all. So then what is the legal provision? A separate act was passed. National Commission for Minority Institutions Act was passed, and this act is mainly there to safeguard rights of minorities under Article 30 Clause 1. This commission is a quasi-judicial body, means it is having some powers like a court. So it can decide in some matters, it is having powers like a civil court, and it can then decide whether if there is any question, okay, so with respect to this educational tag status to minority institutions, then this body can decide upon it. Then what is the present case? So as I told you, this is a 1967 case, okay. So you can see S. Aziz Basha and others versus Union of India. So this dates back to 1967. What is the question here? This question is whether in 1955, okay, so whatever the changes that were made to this AMU, Aligarh Muslim University Act, whether they are applicable or not, okay. So and because here what happened is Supreme Court in that particular context said that this was not recognized as a minority status because it was neither administered or nor established by any minority group. That is why. Then Supreme Court also said that it was established by the Central Government Act only because some recognition should be given to the degrees for those people who study under this particular university. Other than that, it is not having any minority status tag. Then what happened? Because of Muslim minority, okay, so it said that as it was established because of the efforts of Muslim minority, it cannot be given that it is a minority institution run by or administered by Muslim minority. Okay, so that is what the opinion of Supreme Court in that Aziz Basha case. Then what happened in 1981, Supreme Court, okay, ruling has triggered nationwide protests from Muslims. In response, what happened in 1981, they passed an amendment saying that explicitly we are giving the status to minority. Then UPA government, okay, the Congress government has given this particular thing. Then what happened? Then reservation policy was subsequently introduced in 2005. So when 50% of seats were reserved for Muslims in post graduation, this has triggered some protests that was challenged in Allahabad High Court. Okay, what happened in Allahabad High Court when this AMU, okay, so they could not maintain exclusive reservation and they did not qualify under minority institution. That means what does Allahabad High Court said? Same like in TM Pai case, or sorry, 1967 Aziz Basha case, Supreme Court, what did it say? Same way, this Allahabad High Court also said there is no minority status to Aligarh Muslim University. If there is no minority status, then how can you grant some percent of reservation to only Muslims in post graduation? So that is not constitutional. Okay, so then what happened? Matter was challenged before Supreme Court. Then in 2005, if you remember, Congress government is in power, so they wanted to grant this recognition and they have filed some affidavit before Supreme Court challenging the decision of Allahabad High Court. But afterwards, you know, in 2014 when government changed, again government has withdrawn the affidavit filed by UPA government, okay, saying that we don't want to confer minority status to Aligarh Muslim University. Okay, so withdrawing the appeal that was filed in 2016 by present government. So then, because it said it is a secular state, okay, so this has created controversy, and now again the same matter, okay, because some people wanted to challenge this decision of taking back from the side of the government. So in 2019, a 3-judge bench, okay, by then CJ Rangan Gogoi has referred this to 7-judge bench. Now it came for listing before the 7-judge bench. Okay, so we'll see in coming days what can be given by the Supreme Court. So this is all what we have discussed. Okay, now it is time for prelims question. Freedom of payment for taxes for promotion of any religion is guaranteed under which article of Indian Constitution is giving freedom from payment of taxes? Okay, in educational institutions, answer in the comment section. This is a question for mains. Discuss the problems of religious minorities in India. Okay, so what did we discuss in this video? We have discussed who are minorities, what is the news about Aligarh Muslim University, we have seen what is the establishment, when it happened and who established and all these things. Then we have seen what is the constitutional provisions associated with minorities. We have seen different articles. We have also seen what is the actual issue about. Okay, so whether people, what the people want and what are different cases associated with this minority status to Aligarh Muslim University. Okay, so this is all the issue what we have discussed in this particular video. Okay, thank you.